Good afternoon, bowling fans. We are back live. It's warm-up time for the B squad of the 2024 Missouri Masters, being hosted here at Revolution's Lanes and Fun Center in St. Joseph, Missouri. And the bowlers will be bowling a small three-game block, of course, changing pairs every game. They will skip 4 pair and land on pair number 5. That will permit bowlers to cross all areas of the house. This is a 24-lane center. We will be using lanes 1 through 22 for competition. The top 32 bowlers after A squad, B squad, and C squad will advance to a match play bracket, which will be conducted tomorrow. Depending on the number of entries, there may or may not be a cashier's round at 6 p.m. The top 17 bowlers through qualifying will automatically have a spot in the match play bracket, and the remaining bowlers will compete at 6 o'clock for those slots. Once the competition begins, I'll give you a rundown on our A squad results. Our current leader from A squad is Alan Moore, who is plus 14. They're bowling on the 2022 USBC Masters pattern. Very challenging pattern. It transitioned quickly. Spares were of the utmost importance. The bowlers that will best manage their game, read the transition, and keep their misses to makeable spares will be the bowlers that make it into tomorrow's match play round. A lot of love this game.
What? Don't put me on there.
We're just in the warm-up phase. We have 5 minutes remaining. We'll get to see 3 groups of bowlers on today's featured pair. Also, within the frame is lanes 7 and 8. I will try to keep you posted on what's going on 7 and 8 as well, although you won't be able to see the bowlers very well until they're in their pivot step. But I'll still try to give you some updates as the scores come in during the block. Try to keep you posted as to who is leading the event, who is having a good day. A couple of bowlers snuck in to the top of the leaderboard in A squad game 3. Some bowlers that were in the lead found some difficulty, and other bowlers found a good way to get to the pocket. So, I mean, 3 games on a hard shot for qualifying. Anything can happen. 150 one time is not a disaster. Even 130 is not a disaster because the scores are low. 180, 190 is a good game today. Dalton Cook starts off with a double. Excellent start for Dalton. Former collegiate bowler, Missouri Western State University. Devin Trice on lane 9. If I'm repeating myself, it's because we had an audio issue, and I'm not sure that my commentary that started right before the beginning of competition was actually live. So Devin is also a former college bowler. He bowled at Lindenwood. Also on this pair is Roger Garber. He's a senior bowler. Still a good bowler. And if you recall the old PBA Tour when they bowled 18 games of qualifying and 24 games of match play in that format, Roger's best PBA finish was 25th, he told me. And he said he missed 2 10 pins, which cost him that match play spot. And potentially PBA Tour title. And Jasmine Snell converts spare on lane 10. She's a former college bowler as well from the University of Nebraska, former Corn Husker. Excellent bowling program, often times competing for national championships at the collegiate level. To our left on lane 8, we have Eric Moore and Mike Peck. Lane 7, we have Bradley Perkle and Ryan Main. That's the way Roger converted that tough spare. On 11 and 12, a little out of our view, you might see it in the corner there. We have Travis Hansen, Nick David, Matt Perry, and Riley Patton. So one of the keys to bowling here, being successful in this format, is minimizing your mistakes and converting your spares. Not too bad a shot from Dalton. He missed just a little bit inside, and you don't have to miss by a whole lot here. Managed to lead the big four, as Kelly Kulick likes to call it, the tricky Dick. Dick Nixon, former president that used to have put 2 fingers up when he gave a speech. Well, on lane 11, we got a lot of pin action, and pins coming about 10 feet back up the lane. All right, Dalton gets 2 out on that. Pin count will also be important today. Clearing some dead wood on lane 11, and appears to be an excellent clear. Of course, we'll have to have a score correction. All right, we've got Jasmine Snell back up here on lane 9. Looks like a pretty good looking shot. She likes it. It's good for a strike. I'd like to thank and recognize our sponsors. We have JDR Electric, C&M Trucking, Miller Tires, Storm Bowling, Brunswick Bowling, Berkey Turkey's Pro Shop. Please check out their website at btbowlingsupply.com, and the Northwest Senior Missouri's Bowling Tour. Dan Schmierbach's tournament director. They run a fine series of tournaments for bowlers 50 and over. They are scratch tournaments, open to men and women, and they bowl around the northwest area of Missouri, but they also have tournaments in Kansas and I believe last year, and I believe upcoming season they'll be going back to Omaha. So they have on the weekend they have a couple of Sunday and a Monday tournament in the Omaha area, and Sunday and Monday. What am I talking about? Saturday and Sunday tournaments around Topeka and also Omaha. They have an over and under 50 doubles event. And there's good prize money and a lot of good side action in those events. So if you're a competitive senior bowler looking for scratch events, check out the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour. Dalton feeling the pain a little bit. 2 good shots for a double, and then you miss a little left and leave the big 4. And then you get a little right, you don't quite catch it at the bottom, you leave a 2-8-10. And that's typical of what we're going to see from a lot of really solid players here today. You don't have to make much of a mistake in your delivery, your release, to find yourself in a tough spot. But that's the idea of the competition in the 2024 Missouri Masters Championship. There you go, Devin. Really nice conversion of the baby split. Just looking up and down the concourse and at the scores, what do I see? I see a lot of doubles and a lot of donuts. We're only in the 4th frame. I don't see very many bowlers that are clean through 4. And this is a field of very good bowlers. They wouldn't come out the ball on an oil pattern as hard if they didn't have confidence in their game. Ugh. Jasmine, I liked it off her hand. Just maybe got it going a little quick off the point. She chops the middle out. It hasn't changed, Jim.
I know, I'm taking pictures. Show my dad, send my dad. Just
And Dalton Cook back on track with a strike. I've bowled on this pattern a number of times. I've talked to the bowlers from the A squad, and the report is after 2 or 3 frames, you have to make some kind of move. There's a lot of oil in the front part of the pattern. It tends to transition hard in the mid lane, and it just changes the way your ball rolls. And you'll make a good shot. You'll think you're going to be safe in the pocket, and the ball just slows down a lot off the point. And then you try to make an adjustment to get the ball to be a little quicker, and it's too quick off the point. Another good shot by Jasmine. It just does not make it back. Very, very sensitive condition here. They're bowling on a fresh pattern. Lanes were oiled. Probably finished up oiling about 20 minutes before the squad started. Seems like some of the bowlers that have had some success with throwing balls with just a little bit of surface on them, not a lot, just something to help keep the ball from being too quick. It's very easy to see some over-under reaction on this pattern. frames in a row where Miss Snell just got the best count she could get and just try to hang tough. We just look at maybe the top 10 bowlers to try to get an idea of what it would take off of each squad to make the cut. Right now in 10th place is Trey Myers with 556. I believe last year it was like 18 plus, not plus 18, 518. So minus 82 was the cut line for the top 32. Got Dalton Cook up on lane 10. Pretty good shot, comes up high. He leaves a makeable spare though. Dalton's a good spare shooter. Should be able to convert. Devin seems to be having some problems repeating a shot. Been leaving himself a number of tough spares to convert. And Dalton converts the rather not a very common leave, the 6, 9, 10. Yeah. Eric Moore's on lane 8. He's trying to play that inside line. And a lot of the bowlers today trying to play that inside line. It seems it's a little tougher than just trying to play straighter on this pattern. All right. Devin makes it the hard way, but he makes it. Riley Patton on lane 11 has a 5-bagger and is looking real good through 7 frames. Spare, 5-bagger. And I didn't see too many more runs of strikes all day today so far, greater than 5 in a row. We had a sweeper last night. Did have a 268 game. And there's Jasmine Snell with a very nice shot to get her back on track. And lane 11, another pin makes it a third of the way up the gutter. That's a really good looking shot from Devin Trice right there. Probably the best shot he's thrown all game. Yeah. Pretty good shot from Dalton Cook on lane 9, and he's experiencing revolutions at its finest. Pretty good shot in the pocket. You think it's going to carry? It doesn't. Just patience, patience, patience. And Give those spares the focus they deserve. Stanley, he's got it. He makes me nervous shooting those 10 pins, 7 pins that way. But he covers them, and that's all that matters. Just take the lane out of play wherever you can. And Dalton, I said it on the live stream. I said he always makes me nervous when he shoots the 7 pin that way. I says, but he makes it, and that's all that matters. Dalton said it makes him nervous too. Uh-oh. Yeah. Jasmine missed in. 9 count. She'll take it. Spare it up. Two, 8, 10. He just got a little bit outside. The ball pushed down the lane a little bit. Came in the back door of the pocket and just 2, 8, 10. We're on lane 8. We have Ryan Main has a pretty good look with 500 surface on a, I believe, Columbia 300 Madness. I was talking to him before the block. I watched him bowl a little bit last night, and that gave him the look he needed to kind of hold the line, eliminate some of that over-under reaction. It's certainly not going to be too quick off the break point with the surface that he put on that ball. And the key is just to fill some frames, and he's doing the best he can. He has 132 through 7, which isn't bad. Spare working in the 8th frame. .180 is a good game today. Jasmine's just missing out. You just cannot miss out on this shot. Just so hard, at least not in game 1. Just so hard to get the ball to pick up soon enough to get to the pocket and give you a good chance of striking. Okay, Ryan Main is up on lane 7. He missed in. He got a good break, left 6-10. He had the 6-7-10, and something quickly took the 7 out for him. Excellent shot there from Mike Peck. He has a good look with that. I believe it's a Storm Summit. Jasmine makes an excellent shot at the washout. Sends the head pin over top of the 10 pin. Just a bad break. Lots of donuts on the scoreboard today. Excellent conversion by Matt Perry. He had a washout with the sleeper on it, covered them all. Riley Patton had a 5-bagger, then he had 7 spare, and he had 9 spare just from the pins he was leaving. Looks like he probably came up high on both shots. See what kind of adjustment he makes in the 10th frame. He has 195 in the 8th frame, and he's working with the spare in the 9th. So he's going to shoot a fine game. He'll come out of the gate very well, assuming that he is able to at least mark in the 10th. Roger carries the Brooklyn. A lot of us Bullet Revolutions called the Brooklyn the best carry percentage in the house, about 80%. Well, first shot in the 10th for Riley Patton. A little bit of a mixer, and he left a 4-pin, so he should be able to cover that spare. Really good shot from Devin right there. Ball was real big off the point for a solid 4-pin. Well, Dalton's moved a little left since the start of the game, but he's still getting a lot of ball motion. Leaves the makeable 6-10. Riley converted that spare. And with a strike, he'll come out of the gate with 234. And also on that pair, Matt Perry with the 156. Travis Hansen, 185. And that's pretty much maybe par, maybe slightly better than par. And Nick David with 142. In most 3-game tournaments, 142, you're out of it, but not in this one. Plenty of bowling left, 2 games to go. Anything can happen. Over on 7 and 8, Eric Moore finished up game 1 with the 170. Ryan Main's going to be in the 180s, which is going to be right there. Shoot 3 180 games today, you're bowling on Sunday. Do it in the gutter. That was a tough shot for Jasmine. Bob Euchre would say is just a little wide. Right, Ryan Main gets 8 out on his fill. I believe it's a 186, but he accomplished what we were talking about prior to the block. He has very smooth ball motion. It's not too quick off the point. He's eliminated the over-under. It's just a matter of getting the ball to tip over at the right spot to carry the corner pins. But it's a good game plan. He shot 186. And Mike Peck looks like he shot 194, also off to a very good start. Can you hear me? They should work now. Can you hear me now? Okay. Well, in the booth with me right now, I have the squatter from A Squad, Alan Moore. So, Alan, tell us what went on in that first block.
I just didn't see anything out past the second arrow. You just had to be absolutely perfect. and I probably was around 11 and 12 most of the time, and it had a little bit of misroom. Didn't try to put anything on it, and just keep on the head pin and make my spares.
Well, spares were certainly a key to anybody's round today. What kind of ball were you throwing? What kind of surface did you have on it?
I had a 500 surface on a innovative solid. It's a big ball ASIM.
Did that seem to be the key from what you were observing from other bowlers? The asymmetrical ball, pretty big.
For me, for sure, yeah.
I was just commenting on a couple of the bowlers I spoke with. They'd thrown 500 surfaces on some big ASIMs, just trying to control the pocket, trying to leave something that they could make.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was doing all 3 games. I tried my MV Tour solid, which is an ASIM too, but it's not quite as big of an engine as what the Innovative was. But
is that a little higher RG?
The MV, I think so. I can't remember for sure.
I can't remember either. I'm just.
The differential's a lot lower on it, like down to 30. But
Yeah, that's what I recall as well. So, I mean, 614. When you shoot 614, do you expect to lead a squad with the talent that's out there?
no, not really. I will not consider myself the best bowler out here, that's for sure. But I just picked up my spares and caught a few breaks.
Well, and that's the key thing, you know, and it's better to be the best bowler on the squad than the best bowler, right? Yeah. Just get out there and get it to happen.
No kidding. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, now I understand your son's bowling too?
Yes. Yeah. He's bowling. He had a 560 the first set, which I think will qualify. But
no, I think 560 will be good. I mean, right now, if I just took the top 10 off of A squad times 3, like 556 was 10th position.
Was it? Yeah.
Last year, I think it was 518 was 32nd.
Right. It was. If you got over 500 last year, you was qualifying. But this year, I don't know. Maybe a little bit higher. Less people. Just 32 was this year to qualify for Sunday, but last year was 48, wasn't it?
Well, I think what happened was, due to the size of the field, they had a cashier's round, and they had a cut for cashier's round, and they had 17 guaranteed spots in the match play, and then you were competing if you're 18th or lower for that spot. Now, that could be the case this year because a lot of people re-entered off the A squad. I think they just thought they were close. They just didn't get it done. They're going to try to give it another run.
Yeah, right. I didn't see any need in doing that, wasting any more money. Surely over 600 is gonna get me in. So
I'll be in total shock, and in fact, I'll take you out to steak dinner if you don't make the cut with that 614.
Right, absolutely.
All right, well, thank you, Alan, and good luck tomorrow. I'm sure I'll talk to you later today. Got it. Thank you. All right, bowlers are moving around, and they're migrated here to 9 and 10. And for game 2, we're going to have Brandon Leibel on lane 9. Brandon Leibel competes a lot in the PBA 50. We have Jason Tapscott on lane 10, and Jay Rangel, local St. Joe bowler, also on lane 10. Some of the pairs have 3 players, some of the pairs have 4. Well, we just saw on lane 8, Zach Rhodes throw a strike, and that's in the second frame, and he has a double out of the gate. And Zach is playing deeper inside than most of the bowlers. I've seen some bowlers try to play that inside line, and they were not successful. Here, I mean, Zach's a tremendous bowler, and he just made a tremendous shot. That's what we're used to seeing out of Zach Rhodes. Also on 7 and 8, we have one of our proprietors, Miss Jackie Menini, and Lefty Bo Peterson. And Brandon converts the tough bucket, which any spare on this pattern is hard, and any combination is even tougher. Well, out of the gate, game one, I'm just seeing the scroll. There are 9 bowlers that shot 200 or better. There, Bo Peterson with a nice conversion. 3-6-7. That's the kind of thing that will make a big difference today. You're going to have splits. If you can make a couple of them, it's going to go a long way to saving what could be a troublesome game. Jay Rangel with a pretty good effort at that T10, but he gets the 2 out for 8-1 in his first frame. Joey Finley's up on lane 8. He's a St. Joe bowler as well. Locally, we teased Joey, and I dubbed him the legend because in last year's Masters, he made match play, and he had a match against a very well-known, very, very good young bowler who will certainly be a USBC and a PBA Hall of Famer, and that was Mr. Justin Robarge. And Joey had a better game. At the end of the game, he had a higher score than Mr. Robarge, so Joey got to advance. I don't think either one of them are all that happy about their performance, but that's not how this works. So we named Joey the legend for taking out the great youngin'. Nice spare, Joey. And he's such a good guy. There's Jay Rangel with the strike. I just told the story. We have Brandon Lau up on lane 9. He's also a St. Joseph USBC Association bowler. Brandon has bowled in the USBC Senior Masters several times over the past few years. He's cashed in that event. He has a PBA 50 regional doubles title with our proprietor, Brian Manini. Well, looking around us, the only bowler I see putting up any strikes is Zach Rhodes, and that's no surprise. That was exciting, Mr. Liable, but he converts the 4-7. Good shot from Jay, but rings that 10 pin. Ball just a little lazy off the point. And Zach Rhodes doing Zach Rhodes things. 4-bagger to start game number 2. you go, Brandon carrying that blower shot. He got a little outside with that ball. I haven't seen too many bowlers get it back from out there. But Brandon must have had the perfect touch because that ball peeled up just enough to blow out the 4 and the 7. Uh-oh. Just a little wide there for Mr. Wrangle. You got Zach Rhodes up on lane 7, out of view of the camera. 4-bagger out of the gate. Oh, 10 back. I thought he was just a touch inside of the shot, but doesn't look like it from the result. 5 in a row for Mr. Rhodes. All right, and Jay Wrangle converts the miss with the Brooklyn, which bowlers will joke around here and say that's the best carry in the house. Lane 11 and 12, we have Trey Myers, who bowled with Baker University, just throwing a nice strike. Stephen Slocum, who bowled previous squad with Derek Vonarks. And Rick Gober, also bowled squad 1. Please consider using any of our tournament sponsors. We have a sponsorship from JDR Electric, C&M Trucking, Miller Tires, Storm Bowling, Brunswick Bowling, Berkey Turkeys, Pro Shop. Check out their website at btbowlingsupply.com. If you are a competitive bowler, age 50 or over, and are interested in scratch tournament competition, please check out the Northwest Senior Missouri Bowlers Tour. Excellent competition. Took a little pause there. Zach Rhodes made a pretty good shot. Missed I think just a touch inside on, as he did on lane 7, but on lane 8 came up left 4 pin. The Northwest Senior Missouri's Bowlers Tour has a number of tournaments throughout the state of Missouri, Kansas, and Nebraska. They're all scratch events, open to men and women. Typically, they bowl 7 games of qualifying and then a step ladder format final. And there's decent prize money and lots of side action in those events. Oh, Jay Wrangle gets a little kiss on that 4 pin to help him out. Okay, we're going to have some scores coming up. First place, Rick Garber, 248. Stephen Slocum, 236. Victor Cortez, 235. Riley Patton, 234. Andrew Kinney, 211. In 6th place, Brandon Cruz, 205. 7th, Caden Cook from St. Joe, 204. Number 8, Derek Von Arks. With 200 even, Aaron Pennick. Mike Peck in 10th place with 194. Daryl Kaiser, 11, with 189. Ryan Main, 186, puts him in 12th position. Paul Plumby, 185. Travis Hansen, 185. In 15th place, Zach Rhodes with 182, game 1. Last year's champion, Ryan Powers, 180. Is currently in 4th place overall. Jackie Manini, 172. In the hunt, Eric Moore, 170. Brandon Leibold, 169. Joseph Minguit, I believe. I got that wrong, I'm sure. 167. Devin Trice, 164. Trevor Piepergerdes, 23rd position. Dalton Cook in 24th position. Rick Dombrowski, 163 and 25. Trey Myers, 163. 27, Bakoyas, 28th place with 160. Tap Scott, 29th place. Perry, 156. Dustin Adams, also St. Joe, 155. Roger Garber, 149. Miss Jasmine Snell, 149. She was off to a pretty bad start. Sure she would agree, but I'm confident she'll come back. Bo Peterson, 147. He's an excellent lefty. So very, 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 very tough conditions here today. Uh-oh. Zach got a little wide with that. It's a washout. Made an adjustment in the ball chains after that 4-pin. That one just got away from him, I think. Brandon Lytle has a 3-bagger going into the 7th frame. Just missed a little bit on that and right through the face for a 7 count in the split. And Zach missed his washout. Made a good shot at it, but didn't cover it. Even with that open, that gives Brendan Lytle 143 in the 7th frame. If he can just keep it clean for the rest of the way, that'll be a nice score. Bowlers out of the gate a little better this block. But now they're definitely seeing the transition. Here's Joey the Legend Finley with a strike on lane 7. Brandon showing a little frustration there. It looked to me like he got a little bit of a handful on that one on lane 10 and came up, left the 6-10 spare. He should be able to convert that. In this 2022 USBC Masters pattern is a 40-foot pattern, 32 units of oil, 9 loads to the gutter. So very tricky pattern. It's 1.83 to 1 ratio, and there's quite a bit of buff. So this pattern's going to transition quick. Going to keep the bowlers definitely on their toes. Much better shot from Brandon. High in the pocket. 4-9, 4-trip, leaving just the 9-pin. Call it a good break, you could call it a bad break. It's the mental grind here. If you're a tournament bowler, if you bowl out of sport, you know how tough this pattern is. if you're not a tournament bowler, then you cannot compare what's going on out here on these lanes with what happens in your league. Most bowling leagues bowl on what's called a recreational pattern, and those patterns are designed by the experts to make it easier to score, to help your ball find the pocket, to not penalize an errant shot. What we're bowling on here today is considered a sport pattern, and the sport patterns are flatter, they're tougher, and your 200 game on a house shot might be a 130 game on something like this. That ball red early on Brandon's grinding. He should spare this up. He should shoot high 190, low 200, which isn't bad. He didn't get off to the best start with the 169, but he manages to shoot 200 here, and he can put another 200 game on it, then he should have plenty to make it through to match play tomorrow. Zach Rhodes has seen the transition. He had a washout, a strike, and then he left the 7-pin, spared it. He has 184 in the 8th frame, which is a very, very good score at that point. He can shoot 230 max, 234. One of our proprietors, Jackie Manini, can shoot 180 here. I think she had 172 her first game. I mean, she's definitely in the hunt to make the cut if she can shoot another 180 game. Brandon converted the spare, and he needs 10 back for 200 on the dot. All right, 198 it will be. It's a grind. He doesn't look too happy, but I think when he reflects back on it, it wasn't all that bad. He's a great bowler. Like all really good bowlers, he's hard on himself, but 200 on this is good. I'm seeing a 237 game down the way, but I can't see who shot it. My eyes aren't that good. Okay, over on 7 and 8, Bo Peterson, as Bo does, finished up with 208. Jackie put 10 back on the fill for 183. That's a decent game. Joey Finley has 153 in the 9th. He can punch out for 183. Zach can punch out for 234. All right, Jason Tapscott on lane 9 finished with 153. Jay Rangel left himself a tough spare. Conversion here in the 10th, 3-9. I think he's got the right idea. Hooked off of it. Well, Jay finished with a 151. It was a better game than what the score reflects. He had 3 splits. He had a gutter ball on a spare, and then a tough spare in the 10th for 151. And Zach Rhodes struck on his first shot in the 10th. Zach's standing about 34, 35, sliding about 36, and he carries the light hit. And I think we're going to throw a tester on the fill shot. Making a ball change. Can't really tell what it is. Looks like it could be an old code black. He's getting over in front of the ball return, so setting up there. Looks like about maybe 42, 43. Shortened approach over 6th arrow and 10 back. Look out. If Zach Rose gets lined up, look out. Nice fill shot there, Mr. Rhodes. Game. Seeing a couple gutter balls here. Up and down the house. Just lots of games around the 160. I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. We have Revolutions Lanes and Fun Center, our proprietors, Brian Manini and Jackie Manini. JDR Electric, C&M Trucking, Miller Tires, Storm Bowling, Brunswick Bowling, Berkey Turkeys Pro Shop, located right here inside of Revolution Lanes and Fun Center on King Hill Road in South St. Joseph. Another tournament sponsor is the Northwest Senior Missouri Bowlers Tour. A number of the senior bowlers in the field today are regular competitors on the Northwest Senior Missouri Bowling Tour. Tournament director is Dan Schmierbach. I encourage you to go on Facebook and check out their Facebook page. The tournament season for them typically runs during the winter leagues. They have a lot of tournaments. Typically on Sundays, they have a number of events that they host in Omaha, in Topeka, Lake of the Ozarks, and on those more distant sites, they have a tournament on a Saturday and a tournament on a Sunday. They also have a non-champions tournament, which is a nice event, and that's in the last couple of seasons has been hosted here at Revolutions Lanes in Fun Center. Looks like everybody's finished up with their game two. Maybe one bowler remaining at the high end of the house. Bowlers are moving into position to finish their third game of qualifying here on the B squad. There'll be one more squad of qualifying today at 3:30. Depending on the number of entries, there may or may not be a cashier's round. There will be 32 bowlers advancing to tomorrow's match play bracket. Which, of course, will be covered on this same YouTube channel. I am your commentator, Monty Smith. I am too a bowler. I did not bowl this event. I will give you an update for Game 2 standings once those are complete. And it looks like down on 19 and 20, they are just finishing up their second game. We are live behind lanes 9 and 10. I will try and give you an update and broadcast what is going on 11 and 12 and 7 and 8. You'll be able to see lanes 7 and 8 from ball return forward. It's a little tougher to our right, as you can really only see a little bit of the approach in lane 11. So we have begun here on 9 and 10. Matt Perry. Riley Patton is up on lane 10. Got Travis Hansen getting ready to bowl on lane 9. And Nick David. Riley just made a real nice shot on lane 10. A lot of the bowlers seem to have a look off the first arrow on the right-hand side of the lane. And speed is critical on this due to the oil pattern. Carry can be sometimes very challenging here at Revolutions. Sometimes even on a tough shot, I find myself, it's not that hard to get to the pocket. Make a decent shot, you get to the pocket, and then good luck getting 10 pins to fall down, unless you really throw it good. And Riley misses a single pin spare. And the late, great Billy Whalou had a saying, and that saying was spares are scoring opportunities. And I'm seeing a lot of missed spares here today. our bowlers on lane 7 and 8. You recall from our first game here on the featured pair, we have Devin Trice, Roger Garber, Dalton Cook, and Miss Jasmine Snell. Oh, there's a nice little help on a 3-6-9-10 made the hard way by Andrew Kenny. In first place, Daryl Kaiser, 456. Victor Cortez, 455. Excellent scores. Rick Garber, 423. Mike Peck, 417. Andrew Kenny, 416. In sixth, Zach Rhodes, 416. In seventh, Stephen Slocum, 409. Caden Cook, 399. Bacolis, 398. Riley Patton, 394. Carly Kenny, 386. Trevor Piepergertis, 386. Brandon Cruz, 378. Derek Von Arx, 376. Travis Hansen, 375. Dustin Adams, 369. 17th, Brandon Leibel, 367. 18, Dombrowski, 366. Ryan Powers, last year's champion, 358. Jackie Menini's in 20th position in his squad with 355, as is Bo Peterson. Aaron Pennick with 347. Ryan Main, 346. Eric Moore, 337. Paul Klubine, 329. Devin Trice, 328. Dalton Cook, 327. Nick David, 322. Trey Myers, 314. Jason Tapscott, 313. Roger Garber, 312. Joey Findley, 307. Lester Briggs, 307. Billy Mitchell, 306. Matt Perry, 305. Joseph Mingoy, 301. VJ McDaniel, 296. Jasmine Snell, 295. Jay Rangel, 292. Caleb Kriesinger, 40th. Bradley Perkle, 41st. And that rounds out this squad. Dalton off to a tough start. Open. Just needs a decent game. He'll be right in it. There's enough game left if he can get something going. Looks like Miss Snell started off with a strike. She's going to need a nice game. All right, Devin Trice with spare. It's a good start. He's hanging. Yeah, with the scoring pace being low, lanes being difficult, somebody can find a look and put some strikes up and shoot 230, 240. They could jump the field and get right in to the finals. There, well, Jasmine in a lot deeper than I've seen her play today. Floated it out there for a nice little mixer strike. 2-4-7. Devin just didn't get the break he needed to make it. Dalton with a lighter. Just didn't quite get that 7 out. No. Interesting shot, and that either the 2-pin or the 8-pin moved off spot. I think the 2-pin was a little left. Well, over on lane 12, Darrell Kaiser has 9 spare triple into the 4th frame. Andrew Kinney is clean through 3. Dalton covered that 7-pin. There you go, Dalton. That's a real nice strike. 10 back in the 4th frame. Dalton told me that he just threw the virtual energy blackout. And that ball looked real good. Went down the lane, turned up nice, went through the pins for him. He's got to keep executing with it. There, Devin Trice with the real nice shot. His good shots are really good shots. There you go, Jasmine. Real nice shot, 10 back. Okay. She's been struggling, but she's got a 9 spare strike, so anything can happen. Yeah, it looks like Matt Perry's had a little bit of a struggle here. Game 3, he's among the leaders of the squad. 73 in the 5th frame. Just can't get the ball off the head pin. You know, he's a tough little 3-9-10. 3-10's a tough little split. Put that 9 pin in there. Makes it even tougher. 3-6-9-10's a lot easier. You got that 6 to help you take out that 10 or even help you take out the 9 depending on the angles that you play. 3, 9, 10. He's going to make a very, very good shot to cover all 3 pins with the ball. All right, good cover on a tough spare from Mr. Trice. And Dalton Cook covers the 310. Yeah, just a grinder, folks. That's what we're seeing. Oh, nice shot there, Mr. Perry. Exactly how you have to make it. There's really no other way unless you get lucky. All right, big shot here for Jasmine Snell. She's done a lot of big shots in her life, and this is going to be one of them. Really needs to have a double right here to try to set up a run. I thought that was a pretty good shot. Just did not turn the corner. Probably got just a little fast. Probably, when I say she missed it at the bottom, I mean she missed it by touch. She didn't miss it by a lot, and it just didn't make it back. After 2, still some pretty good scores for this B squad.
Gebauer. He's
Yeah, I'm sure. Gebauer with
He didn't do that.
430. Andrew Kenny with 416 in 5th place. Zach Rhodes, 6th place. And Dalton Cook trips the strike on lane 8. He could use a little help. Yeah, Mr. Perry continues with struggles this game. Another really good shot from Devin Trice. When he throws it good, he throws it good. That's the way, Jasmine. Get a little help. Nice little blower carry on lane 8. It seems to have a little softer touch this game than what I was seeing earlier from her. And talking with our tournament leader, Alan Moore, he was commenting how it was so much better when he was really softer with it. And as the great John Janowitz likes to describe it, you have to be nice to the ball. Seems if you get a little grabby, then you're over under that the pattern is designed to expose is exposed. So far here, what I'm seeing, the exception of Zach Rhodes and Victor Cortez actually, not Victor, yeah, probably so. I was thinking more of Brandon Cruz. Trying to play in and throw it away from the pocket, it's just a tough shot. You have to be on top of your game to do that. All right, Dalton Cook with the double. Game 3 here, I'm seeing a lot of low scores. Just seeing a lot of pain out there. Donuts, 6 counts, kind of things that help you shoot 150. All right, Jasmine Snell's up on lane 7. I really like the shot she just threw. No, a good shot. It's a really good shot. Ball could have finished a little bit better. She leaves I'm going to call it a half 10. It wasn't quite a ring 10. Wasn't quite a flat 10. It's one of those shots where when the ball, the entry angle just was not exactly where you needed to be to strike, but it certainly was good enough to strike. Just did not strike. And that's one of the challenges sometimes, getting the corner pins out at Revolutions. And speaking of Revolutions, we would like to thank Jackie and Brian Menini, the proprietors here at Revolutions Lanes and Fun Center, located on King Hill Avenue in St. Joseph. They have a snack bar. Take it from me, I've had a lot of food from their snack bar. It's all very good. I haven't had anything bad here. They make their own pizza. They make their own dough. They have a pizza oven. And you'd be hard-pressed to find a better pizza than what you can get here at Revolutions. Had their cheeseburger combo for lunch today. It was excellent as always. And the service is always friendly. Berkey Turkey's Pro Shop is located inside of Revolutions Lanes. Be sure to check out their website, btbowlingsupply.com. We'd also like to thank our other tournament sponsors, JDR Electric, C&M Trucking, Miller Tires, Storm Bowling, Brunswick Bowling, and also the Northwest Senior Missouri Bowlers Tour for sponsoring our event. And a nice 10 back from Miss Snell on lane 8. All right. Matt Perry with a strike in 8th and a strike in the 9th. He can bail this game out, but it's certainly not what he was hoping or expecting to shoot. He can punch out the 10th frame for 188. Dalton Cook with a strike, so Dalton's on a triple. Dalton needs to finish out this game. He's in the hunt.
Making sure that light was on.
There you go, Raleigh Patton with a strike in the 9th frame, setting himself up for a good finish. Dalton Cook steps up in the 9th frame on lane 7. He likes it. No, it just came a little high. 3, 6, 9, 10. Oh, it's just that's just so tough, and that's part of what this pattern's all about. From my angle, I really couldn't see. I bet you he missed just a little bit left. Ball checked up, came off the point, and he gets a 6 count on a triple, which hurts his count a little bit. Now he's got a really tough spare to convert in the 9th frame. Chops a 3-9 off of it. Tough break. All right, on lane 7, Jasmine Snell's up in the 9th frame, working on a single strike in the 8th. It'd be really nice for her to strike here. And she carries the light hit on lane 7 for a strike. Sets her up for a good 10th frame. That's away Dalton Cook with a strike in the 10th. Needs 2 more. Would be nice. He has a max of 190, which is a good score on today's shot. Dalton finishes up with a 180 game. Well, Matt Perry's not helping himself any. He missed a 10 pin in the 10th frame to shoot 155. Dalton Cook with the 180. Daryl Kaiser with an excellent 258. Game 3, if he made it through his brackets, he's in good shape. And really looking around, don't see any games over 200 going on right now, at least in the 4 or 5 pairs within my view. So I just see a lot of pain. Getting ready to step up on the approach on lane 8 is Jasmine Snell. She has a potential 226 game. She needs to strike on this first shot. Now, she grabbed that one a little bit. Left the pesky 6-9-10. With the spare and a strike, she can shoot 203. Do see a 237 game, but with it a 150, a 158, and a 157. So, like I said, you know, this is a very hard shot, and tough finish for Jasmine. 2 out on that spare and 191. Nine and 10, Raleigh Patton finished with a 148. Roger Garber on lane 7, 134. Kevin Trice, 144. Of course, Dalton had 180 and Jasmine had 191. Travis Hansen finished with 135. And Nick David will finish out with a 158. So, tough score. Some excellent scores as well, and considering the pattern, definitely anything plus is outstanding. So I'm Monty Smith. I'm calling it for you today. I'm awaiting the Squad B results. I'll have some interviews with squad leaders. If you'd like to stay tuned. Our C squad will start at 3:30 today. There will be a re-oil. All squads are bowling. Call fresh. All squads are bowling on the same pattern. The way the tournament is set up, bowlers skip 4 pair, land on the 5th pair, so the bowlers will see every section of the 24-lane center here at Revolutions bowled here. And there is not a marked difference, but you definitely, if you bowl here all the time, you will note that probably lanes 1 through 10, a little less friction. Keep your angles a little closed, a little more direct, and then as you go up to the high end of the house, if you're a right-handed bowler, you can start moving your feet left because you're going to see a lot more friction as you move up towards lanes 23 and 24. I think that 258 game was the highest game shot today. Okay, I have a hard time reading the scores, but I see right now Daryl Kaiser is the squad leader, Mike Peck, Victor Cortez, Zach Rhodes, C.J. Pecoilis, Andrew Kinney, Stephen Slocum, Caden Cook appears to be in 8th place. Ryan Powers, who was 4th on A squad, is 9th on B squad. Rick Gerber, who's a senior bowler, in 10th place. Brandon Cruz, 11th. Dustin Adams is from St. Joe's, a fine bowler. He's in 12th place. There we go. I just got a hot copy off the press. I might be able to read it. So our B squad leader in first, of course, is Daryl Kaiser. He had games of 189, 267, and 258 for 714. That's hard to beat right there, folks. I remember last year in qualifying, I think maybe 630 or something like that was the leader. And a lot of these same bowlers played. And today, right now, Daryl Kaiser with 714. Second on the squad is Mike Peck with 654, games of 194, 223, and 237. Third place, Victor Cortez with 623. He came out of the gate big, 235, 210, and then 178. We did see a lot of struggle that third game. Zach Rhodes, 182, 234, 176 for 592. C.J. Pecoilis, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, with 590, games of 161, 237, and 192. Andrew Kinney, games of 211, 205. Third game, 171 for 587. Seventh position, also with 587, is Stephen Slocum. Number 8, Caden Cook from St. Joseph, Missouri, 204, 195, 180. Caden had a pretty consistent block. He stopped by and spoke with me when he was changing pairs, and I made a bowl a lot with Caden, and he told me that he had missed 3 single, I believe it was, pins in 4 frames, and that put him at 579. But still a good set, very consistent bowling. Last year's champion in 4th place in A squad qualifying, Ryan Powers, 180, 178, 218 for 576. Now, I saw Ryan bowling a little bit. I think he was trying to play a different area of the lane with a different ball. I didn't see him throwing that pink Widow urethane up the gutter. He had so much success with that last year and ultimately went on to win the event playing the gutter with that ball. Rick Gabar, 248. 175 and 150 that last game, but still at 248 in there. That's a pretty big game for this pattern. Brandon Cruz in 11th place, 205, 173, 187 for 565. Dustin Adams, St. Joe bowler, 155 first game, but then 214, 196. Good comeback for 565. Carl Kinney with 548. Trevor Piepergerdes. Trevor had a good game in the middle, 222, but struggled 164, 157, games 1 and 3 for 543. So based on what we're seeing here with the scores, it looks to me like the cut line is probably, going to have to be 550 or better from what I'm seeing. And that's just my crystal ball, and it could be out of tune. So it could be more than that, it could be less.
but there's a lot of good bowling and a lot of struggle. So I'm going to see if I can't locate some of our leaders and get them in here for an interview. All right, good afternoon, bowling fans. I'm sitting here with the leader of B Squad, Daryl Kaiser, who had excellent games. I mean, 189, you guys don't know how tough it is out there. And then he shot 267 and 258 for 714. This is our second year with this event, and I don't recall anybody shooting 700 in qualifying. So that's some pretty good shooting right there. I got to watch him bowl. Obviously, he's a very fine bowler. And Daryl, why don't you run us through your block, and what did you throw? What kind of adjustments did you make, and what did you see out there?
We started with the Magic Gem. What lane was I on? I think I started on 7 and 8, I believe. And the shot was looking pretty close to yesterday. I think I was like about 4 boards left. And I'm just trying to keep my angles kind of straighter. Because if you pitch it out like 2 boards, it's going to do a washout or take 3 off the rack. Tug it a couple boards, it's going to go Brooklyn or even past Brooklyn. I was fortunate enough to keep my hand behind the ball, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I was just in the zone, and my parents are here and supporting me, and my buddy Travis, and I just love everybody.
Well, that's outstanding. And, you said you were in the zone, and certainly to score that well on this shot, you would have to really be focused on what you were doing. I noticed, I got to watch you last night, and you were able to play in a little deeper than other players. Is that the same part of the lane you were playing here today?
It was pretty close. I wasn't quite getting it out as far on the higher end of the house, but I bowled on 1 and 2, and it was playing way different. So I was able to open up my angles a little bit more, and I actually was able to come back from, beyond 10. So it was pretty nice.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, on 1 and 2, that's a pair that doesn't get a whole lot of use here. All the lane beds here are new. They're about 3 seasons old, and typically 1 and 2, 3 and 4 just tend to be open play, and a lot of kids and a lot of bumpers and 6-pound balls. So I can see where it's probably a little smoother surface, and when you get in the middle of the house or up towards the higher end, and you can comment here. We're sharing one mic, so that makes it a little tougher. What I find is 1 through 10, you got to keep your angles a little tighter, and as you move up the house, if you get it started a little sooner, it's not too big of a deal as long as you keep your speed up, because you're going to have a lot of recovery.
Right, and speed is very important, because I noticed if I did not get behind it or keep my speed up, it was going Brooklyn. And if I got too quick behind it, it just wasn't coming back. I was fortunate enough to get a couple of good breaks, and I couldn't be more thankful.
Daryl, touch-wise, I talked to some other bowlers that had some success, and they were just describing, using that softer touch, but still trying to get the ball to cover some boards. Was that your experience here?
No. I actually was kind of like gripping and ripping it pretty much, and just keeping my speed up and kind of getting it in that zone. I didn't have a tremendous amount of room, but I was having pretty good success getting it to where I needed to. And truth be told, it's pretty close to my house shot back home in South Dakota, so I was pretty comfortable playing that. So it worked out for me.
Okay, very interesting. So I was just looking at your scores, and obviously bowlers that are experienced can look at these numbers. And I was saying throughout the both broadcasts on the squads how important spares were, but when you're shooting 257 and 258, you don't have to worry a whole lot about spares, do you?
No, not so much. But I still did cover the spares. I bowled first squad. My first game, I had was that last squad? No, that was the sweeper last night. My second squad, and I got second there. My first game, I had 0 spares. Second game, I had all spares almost. And then my third game, I had no spares. And pick up your spare, kids.
Was that the game where you shot 260? Was that you last night?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So I remember I was watching that game because we were just here testing out the equipment, and nobody was shooting anything. And I looked up all of a sudden, like, oh, somebody's got 5 in a row. Oh, now they got 6 in a row. Oh, now they got 8 in a row. I think you had a Brooklyn in there. You had one that wasn't your best shot, but it carried anyway. And yeah, that was pretty entertaining. That was fun to watch you bowl that game. So you've had some pretty good games in here on this shot. So, well, congratulations on some fine bowling, and we'll see if somebody can beat you. But that'll be something if they can. But you know, you're definitely going to be bowling match play tomorrow.
I appreciate it, and much love to Missouri.
Very good, great bowling. All right, bowling fans, I'm sitting here with our B squad second place finisher, Mike Peck, who had games of 194, 223, and 237. Mike, why don't you just run us through your block and tell us what you threw and what adjustments you made?
Well, I started in practice. I tried everything I brought. Tried urethane, didn't really like it. Tried the Rotogrip Optimum Idle that I just got, didn't like it. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to throw my Summit, my Storm Summit. So I threw that a couple times. I really liked how it looked. I liked how it saw the lane. I was like, well, I'm just going to go with that, and just stayed with it all 3 games.
Yeah, no, it looked good. I got to see you throw a few shots, and the first thing I noticed was you were throwing that Summit, and it did look like it was smooth. It was controlling that over-under that a lot of bowlers were seeing out there on the lane. Did you modify the surface at all?
I did. I actually took it down to 1,000 before we started, and actually on the way down here, me and my buddy Ryan Powers, we were talking about it, and he said it's going to be tough, so you're going to need something that's going to get you a little surface. And I said, okay, I kind of got an idea. And I don't like to bowl the first shift and get out of a car and then bowl. So I watched these guys, and I kind of watched what everybody was using, what surfaces were hitting pretty good. And I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to go with 1,000, and it worked.
No, it certainly did look good, and I spoke with Ryan before the tournament and after his squad this morning, and that's kind of what he was talking about, was how it was so important to have surface adjustment that was fresh but wasn't too aggressive, but you certainly needed something to tame down that over-under reaction.
You really could not get the ball outside if you have a lot of ball speed, and I throw it pretty hard. I have a lot of revs, and so if you got it outside, it's very speed sensitive, and I had the right speed, and the Summit was what was seeing the lane the best for me, and I just stuck with it. I did in the third game. I thought about getting out of it because it started overhooking, but then I made a 2-in-1 adjustment and stuck with it. But then, of course, 10th frame, I missed that single pin that cost me another 20 sticks. And but you know what? I can't complain. I'm getting better at these tougher patterns, and this is what's fun for me. Is I love competition. Ryan Powers and Victor Cortez, you know, we bowl a lot together, and those guys are so good, and it's fun to watch them. And I'm just really proud of myself, you know, for just hanging in there. And I mean, the first game I could have really threw in the towel, and I threw the back 5 for 194, which was huge. And then I just took it after that. But you know, I had a great time, and hopefully come back tomorrow and keep bowling and see what happens. I do want to thank my jersey sponsor, Bowlify, as well. The great jerseys. If you need a jersey, you can get a hold of me on Facebook or wherever you need to, and I'll give you a code, and you can use it and get a discount. So thanks, everybody, for watching.
Awesome. You got to plug your sponsor in there too. That's good. Well, I'll tell you what, you're fortunate to to be able to bowl tournaments with Victor and with Ryan, because those are two solid bowlers that have a lot of knowledge about the game, and certainly that's one of the ways you get better as a bowler is you hang out with people that have a better skill set and a better knowledge bank than you do, and if they're willing to share that with you, then you'll be well on your way to being a top player.
And I'm telling you, those are two guys that I have learned so much from, and the main thing that they try and teach me is don't give up. Keep doing what you're doing. You're going to get better, and they just support me, and it's just fun to bowl with them. And I learned, like I said, I've learned so much from them, and I can't thank them enough.
Yeah, I've crossed in tournaments with both of them, and they're both fierce competitors, but they're gracious at the same time, and that's a rare mixture in people that try to play any sport at a high level to go ahead and tolerate some people maybe on their pair that aren't quite up to their skill set. So, no, it's all very good. Well, thank you, Mike. No, you're going to make it tomorrow, and you're going to get the bowl. It's going to be a good day for you. You're going to learn a lot.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bowling fans, I'm sitting here with one of the B squad bowlers who finished in 8th place on the squad, Caden Cook. He's from St. Joseph, Missouri. He's been a youth bowler here. He's an adult league bowler here. And he's hopeful to get out to the great Wichita State and have a chance of making that squad maybe. And I'd like to talk to him about his block here today. So, Caden, why don't you just reflect on what games you shot, what did you throw, what adjustments do you make, and what did you see going on out there? I mean, you finished with the 579, which I'm confident will be enough to make match play tomorrow.
I threw a hammer effect the first game on the left lane only, and I threw a Radical Conspiracy HK22 at 360 grid on the right lane. The right lane was really, really touchy, and it seemed like it would either, if I tried the effect on that lane and it just skid forever. And I noticed that out of everybody else's bowling balls. 3 and 4 has been tricky the entire weekend. I bowled on it the first set too, and I think I had 204 the first game. I chopped to 610 in the 10th frame. Game 2, I got down to 13 and 14, and I threw a hammer effect on both lanes, and it looked really, really good. And I had 4 in a row going into 10th frame, and I hit up on one, and I Greek churched. So that was really a big game killer. And I got down to 1 and 2 the last game, and I was still in the effect. And I managed to miss 3 single pins the first 4 balls, which that was definitely not great, but you live and you learn. I ended up throwing a couple strikes in a row to shoot 180 that game. So that was damage control for sure.
Well, for missing 3 singles and shooting 180, that's still not too bad considering what was going on out there. Now, you said that was on lanes 1 and 2. And for people on the outside here that haven't been to Revolutions, 1 and 2 doesn't get a whole lot of play. Leagues tend to be at the higher end of the house or in the middle, and 1 and 2 seems just to be open play and a lot of kids throwing plastic balls. So just kind of from a friction perspective, what did you see on 1 and 2 that may have been completely unique to the rest of the pairs?
Well, I know on 1 and 2, we bowled next to him game 1, and there's a lot of urethane going down the pair. So lane 1 seemed to have like a giant hang spot down lane, and if you got it outside of 10, you were going to 2-pin, or you may get lucky and roll it. But lane 2 seemed to play like the rest of the house. It was fine, but lane 1 was definitely more skid than anything, and if you tried to throw surface, it hooked at your toes.
Very interesting.
It was very, very rough. I just wish I could have thrown it a little bit better to start the game.
Now, Caden, I know when we've bowled together most of the time, you have quite a bit of ball speed. Did you have that much ball speed today, or did you make any changes?
The monitor's is saying about 15.5 miles an hour, which is 3.5 miles an hour slower than how I usually throw it, but to get something into shape on this, that was definitely better. The deeper you go, the slower you have to be, and I didn't want to deal with all the traffic in the track area, so I decided that I was going to move left. I talked to Dustin Adams about it a little bit, and he said there was some shape in there, so I talked to him a little bit last night after the sweeper, and he said, I think you can get away with it. He goes, however, you cannot throw at 19 miles an hour. You have to be slower, and you have to hit it at the bottom, but you can't overhit it or it'll hook too soon. So just having a great support around me and listening to the help that everyone gives me, that always is an advantage for me.
Well, it sounds good, Caden, and I think 579 will be sufficient to make it into Sunday. Are you going to bowl anymore?
Yeah, I'm going to bowl the rest of the day, and right now the 16 cut's 574 is what I was told by Brian. So I feel like I can improve off this set, especially if I don't open in the 10th frame the first 2 games. That was 50 pins right there.
Yeah, that did hurt quite a bit. So, yeah, that's right. The top 16 is important. If we end up having the larger field with the re-entries, we might get there, and that'll change the math for who is guaranteed a spot tomorrow.
Yeah, I was talking to Ryan a little bit, and Ryan said that he believes that we're going to have the 630 cashers around, so that'll be your seeds 17 through 48. Scores reset for that, and then you bowl 3 more games in the top 16, and that will make match play tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, so nothing wrong with bowling another squad, though. Maybe make some more money in brackets and pot games. I know a lot of guys are doing that, and they also want to see what happens, and they want to try some different equipment, maybe some different angles.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to make some money this set. The first set, I had 140 the first game, and that killed me in brackets, but I followed it with 180, so I got to 510. But brackets are always a good thing, especially on stuff like this. 160 will win a bunch of brackets.
No, it is amazing. It's just you got to get through that first game with 180 or something, and then if you're live in brackets, when that transition hits, you can bail yourself out, even with what would be considered a lousy game otherwise.
Yeah, especially changing pairs. You move to a different pair. Some people don't follow the transition real well, or they don't follow what had happened to the pair before. But I like to talk to the bowlers that are on the pair ahead of me, and if we get done quick and I can go down and watch a couple frames, that is a big advantage for me instead of wandering around the bowling alley.
No, absolutely right. Having a little intel on what was going on when those bowlers started and when they finished, what happened to them when they first hit the pair is always helpful. All right, Caden, well, thank you so much, and good luck, and I'll let you get ready for your next block.